Hello Star Family, welcome back to another lesson on Starseed Academy. My name's Jenny and I help Starseed and Lightworkers from all around the world to heal their energy, to reconnect with their spirit team, and to activate their earthly mission. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I healed my anxiety, because I think that a lot of Starseed deal with this issue. It's a really common problem, and it's a really painful problem to have in your life. Anxiety is one of those things that everybody says that they have, but this isn't just a mild or trendy anxiety that I'm talking about. And I hate to say that, but I do feel like it's become a trend that there's so many memes about it and everyone has anxiety. What I'm talking about is like a serious anxiety that completely inhibits your life, that is ravaging your life, almost stealing your life from you and incapacitating you to a point where you don't feel like you can continue on in a normal or in a healthy, happy way. And it is so amazing to me and sad how many starseeds really suffer with this. We're so susceptible to it because we are so sensitive and so aware. But I think that somebody needs to hear this video, and there are people out there looking for help and tips and hacks to getting through it and healing it and letting it go. So I feel really inspired to make this video today because it was so impactful in my own life, and I suffered for so many years with this. I've got 5 tips for you how to heal your anxiety. Tip number 1 is to stop avoiding it. Your emotions live inside of you. So where you go, they go. You're not going to outrun them. They're always with you. And just as our perceived problems are inside of us as well, so is the anxiety or depression or uncomfortable emotions that we don't want to face. But when you think you're avoiding it, it's just sitting on the back burner, still simmering and festering away. And when you come back to it, it's going to have gotten much denser. And all the while that you thought you were avoiding this problem, you were actually feeding it fear. And this fear energy makes it seem like it's so much bigger than it really is. Now it's this monster under the bed. And it really doesn't have to be that big of a problem, this huge mountain that completely stops your life in its tracks. We don't have to allow it to get to that severity. By dealing with it in healthy ways and confronting it, we can absolutely overcome this problem. Another side effect of avoiding anxiety is that we can fall into escapism. And escapism is when you want to be anywhere but in your own skin and in your own life. And so you can see how this would lead to addictions with different substances, or just addictions to wanting to escape your life, never wanting to be present. If you notice you're constantly like scrolling on your phone and losing yourself in social media or the world of celebrities or video games or even books. If you're obsessively watching TV and reading books, you're never living your life. You're never living your role, yourself in your own skin. And that is so important to do because that is where your power is. Your power is in the present moment. And when you're just distracting yourself, you're giving away the most important commodity that you have, which is your awareness. Because directed awareness and focused attention is what is creating your life on the outside. And so if your attention is all willy-nilly and Kim Kardashian and shoot 'em up video games or all of these different things, you're creating a life that's completely scattered and uninspired. So now that we've stopped avoiding our uncomfortable emotions and our uncomfortable anxiety, the second tip is to now find the source. So what is the source that's causing your anxiety? Start with, what is it connected to? So I'll give you an example. For me, my anxiety was really connected to depression as well. It was almost like I was so afraid of being depressed or falling into some kind of depression that it made me anxious. So I was afraid to feel sad, and that fueled my anxiety. They were so connected that oftentimes I couldn't even tell one from the other. And so I had to disentangle those two different emotions from one another and truly find the source of each one. And maybe it was coming from the same place, and that's why they were so combined. Once I disentangled those two huge emotions from each other, I was able to get more clarity. Instead of just being this terrifying storm of these two emotions coming at me, I learned to separate the two. If they were going to feed each other, then I was going to take them away from one another. What is your anxiety attached to? Is it attached to your financial situation and fears about that? Is it attached to you being really tired all the time and that making you anxious because you're so afraid of how you're going to feel the next day or that you won't have energy? Find out what you're anxious about. Dig deeply. The next time you feel anxiety coming on, stop and sit with it for a moment and think back, what was I just thinking about? What were the thoughts that were going through my mind before this anxiety came on? And see what it is that's truly worrying you. Sometimes anxiety can be attached to a past event. In my personal case, I had PTSD and I didn't know. And so post-traumatic stress disorder is going to bring on side effects of anxiety and depression. So once I disentangled those two from each other, I found out where they were coming from. It was a past event for me. Targeting that source was so helpful in my own healing. How else are you going to heal your emotions if you don't know why you feel them? So don't just accept anxiety as anxiety. There's always a reason. Tip number 3, don't identify with it. You can feel anxiety, but you are not anxiety. It is not who you are. Don't create a story in your mind that you are a victim of your emotions. You are the creator of your emotions. Though that might be really hard to believe when you're having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. They did originate from your own racing thoughts and from you not dealing with the source of the anxiety in the first place. So you truly are in control. Remember that. You are not a victim. And it's really important to change your own personal story in your mind's eye of how you view yourself. Start viewing yourself as someone who is healing, someone who is taking charge of their life, someone who is determined to heal. Be determined. You can do this. Tip number 4 is to break the fear cycle. We can get so caught up in the fear of it all. Sometimes anxiety just comes from being afraid to be anxious. So you can see how it cycles around itself. Break that fear cycle. A great way to do this is to know you can't be happy 100% of the time. That is not possible. So allow anxiety to visit. Simple as that. When it comes, say, "Oh, hello there, friend. How long are you staying this time?" But it's not going to stay forever. It truly is just a visitor, as all emotions are. Good times, mediocre times, bad times. Everything is temporary, and the only constant is change. So just know that whatever it is you're going through, it will change and transform into the next period of your life and into the next flow of emotions. So what are you going to do to create the next flow of emotions? What you're doing now, where you're putting your attention now, is creating tomorrow's mood. Remember that when you're allowing yourself to get so caught up in the fear, it will continue to create more and more and more. Allow anxiety to visit. Learn what you can from it. Don't identify with it. Don't get super worried that it's going to last forever and caught up in all of the fear. Just, it is what it is. Just let it come and let it go. Let it wash over you. The most powerful way to stop an anxiety attack or a panic attack in its tracks is to let it happen. You have to just allow the feelings to wash over you, even surge further into them. I used to go and lay down and try to just relax and breathe and allow them to wash over me like these waves. I don't want you to underestimate how serious these anxiety attacks and panic attacks were. They weren't just like, 5 minutes, I'm good. No, these were like hours. But the more I avoided them, they would last days. They were constantly buzzing in the background, and I would feel sick with anxiety for days or weeks or months. That compared to an hour of letting it happen, there's no comparison. Be really observant during this time. As you're allowing the anxiety and the panic to wash over you and run its course, dissect it. Really look at it as it's happening and see where it's coming from. Look for that source. Find the event. Find what it's attached to. You've got to figure out what's feeding it. Allowing it to happen is another great way to break the cycle of fear. You're allowing this visitor in, knowing it's not going to stay forever, knowing you are the one in control, you're the one allowing this, and you're going to learn something from it. See how you can be determined about it? Take back control. Take back your life. This is not the rest of your life. This is a learning experience and it will go away. I promise you, it will not last. Tip number 5 to healing your anxiety is, of course, take back your power. Just like we've been saying, develop that attitude of determination. You are going to heal this. View yourself not as this victim, but as someone in control of their life, their emotions, who's just learning. This is all healthy and normal, and you've absolutely got this. Routines can really help when you're trying to take back your power. Having a self-care routine where you're maintaining your mood and your energies, so that would be exercise to help move all of these energies out of your body, out of your energy systems as well. Exercise is amazing for cycling energy. And meditation for calming and stilling your energy, your mind, your focus. So I would absolutely recommend developing a routine of regular exercise, regular meditation, and research into what it is that you're going through so that you can feel back in the power seat. And bonus tip number 6 is gratitude, because how could we forget gratitude? You can't leave that out. It is such a powerful force. Focusing on what you are grateful for is a surefire way to get you back into good vibes. When you're focused on the things in your life that you're grateful for, you're creating more of those things to come in the days to come. Remember, what you're focusing on and thinking about now is creating tomorrow. See how you're in the power seat, in the driver's seat of your life? You're such a creator. You have no idea how powerful you are. Fuel your creative vehicle with gratitude and just see your life blossom. I love you all so much, and I just want you to know that it is okay to go through things and to have lasting emotional issues, because I've been there. Having a traumatic event happen in your life can lead to these kinds of emotional problems later, but they are not the end of the story. They do not define you. If you've watched my earlier videos, you've heard me talk about how trauma equals transformation, which is why so many of us starseeds have chosen such difficult lives and difficult events and difficult struggles, especially early on, so that we would be certain that we would struggle, have the trauma that leads to transformation and pushes us towards self-growth, self-empowerment, and the seeking of wisdom. Life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you. So be grateful for all of these incredible lessons. Healing anxiety begins with the decision to heal it. I really hope that you were able to get something out of this video and that you can feel my absolute love for you coming through. I am sending you so much personal strength, personal power, determination, love, passion, beauty, independence, wisdom, transformation, and healing. I'm sending you this giant rainbow of goodness, so open your hearts to it. Thank you so much for joining me today. You can check me out on Instagram for more original content at Starseed Academy. There's also a website where I offer healing services, and that's starseedacademy.org. I'll leave links for everything in the description box below. So until next time, I want you to remember to listen to your heart, that quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. Bye.